Hey guys, crew at Blind Wave, I'm Eric.
I'm Shane.
I'm Calvin.
And we just got back from seeing Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice.
Hell yeah.
Long movie.
A little bit.
A little long.
Longer than I was expecting.
Huh?
2.5 hours.
I can see where they cut a couple things short
Me too.
with the melodrama, with the walking in.
Me too, but you know what? I'm glad I saw everything.
Me too. I loved it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Man of Steel was a very artistic type of movie for Zack Snyder.
And there was stuff like that.
And
in
the
there.
same thing with this one.
Yeah, the bagpipes. Hold on.
Or just-
Wait. Before we go into it, guys, this is going to be a full-on spoiler
Mhm.
review. So if you haven't seen the movie, do not watch this. Or ruin it for yourself and watch this anyway. Okay? So we're going to get right into it. Now, Shane, what were you talking about?
Man of Steel was it's shot artistically compared to some of his other stuff.
It was very shallow focus.
A very
shots.
hand camera type stuff.
Yes. Now,
Depth of field.
we need to preface this conversation by telling everybody that Calvin has not yet seen Man of Steel. I gave him a rundown, right, Calvin? What did I say? I got to sum it up for you. What did I say?
Superman and
Zod.
fight.
Yep.
And destroy Gotham.
Metropolis.
Yes.
That's what happened.
I couldn't hear all of it.
Yeah.
It was during the battle.
It was
So-
the
What the
beginning.
fuck?
And he was whispering.
No,
so
I
he
was
wouldn't
just
shame
like,
me in
I was
public.
like, hey, you haven't seen this? You haven't seen the last one, right? And he was like, no. And I'm like, keep it down. Zod and Superman fought last time. They destroyed Metropolis.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
That's all you need to know, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't really miss anything other than that, right? Except maybe Jonathan Kent. You didn't
Man
know.
of Steel was a great movie.
Yeah.
I definitely think you need to see it.
He'll definitely see it.
Yeah.
He'll definitely watch it. I don't know if it's on anything like Netflix or anything.
No, it's not.
No, it's
But
not.
we'll have to have Calvin just watch it.
Mhm.
And maybe give his thoughts on here. But we're not talking about that movie. We're talking about this movie. And where to begin? How you guys want to do it? You guys want to just kind of do a free form, just talk about whatever? Or do you want to kind of go down through the movie?
I like to kind of go through the movie and then maybe touch on things after
Sure.
that.
Well, the first 10 or 12 minutes were perfection to me, for me.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was a true Batman introduction.
It was.
Mhm.
Like, it was just the meat
Yeah.
and no
It was-
vegetables.
It was the first hour of a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was done so well. And it was... I kind of forgot that Lauren Cohan was going to be... was Martha Wayne
Yeah. She's
Right?
sexy.
Maggie.
She's sexy.
from
Yeah.
Walking Dead. And then Jeffrey D. Morgan, of course, was Thomas Wayne. So that was pretty cool.
And they're both from Supernatural.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it was...
Years apart.
Yeah, it was just cool little cameos. I liked that. But going past the cameos, the montage, which usually I don't love montages too much, but just like they said it really well because it was a dream, right?
I didn't know that was a dream. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I was like, why is he floating?
I said, "I get what they're trying to do."
I wrote
And then it
down,
was a dream. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I wrote down rope. I thought that Alfred had lowered down a rope while he was thrashing around and he was pulling him up. And it was going to be like a wasted, we thought he was becoming one
Sure.
with the bat, and now he's just a kid being pulled
Yeah.
up by a rope.
It's interesting that, I mean, it's hard not to think about Nolan trilogy of Batman movies when that scene was happening because it's so similar, but it has to be because that's the mythos. If it's
Right.
not similar, it's not the same story, and we don't really want that.
Yeah, we don't want a new mythos.
Yeah,
Screw
so I mean that was okay, but I just kept thinking like he can stand up and go, as his bats are going. Then
Well, he embraced
They
it.
started floating. I'm like, what the hell? They're departing everything.
Well, he embraced it much younger in this version.
True.
Yeah.
And the imagery, I had to write this down. The imagery of the necklace over the
gun?
chamber of the gun,
The slide of the...
and it going off, and that's what breaks the necklace.
That necklace always breaks.
See, you
doesn't
can
it?
say whatever you want about Zack Snyder in terms of his storytelling, but his imagery
Oh God.
is masterful, I think.
I agree.
I mean, to be fair, when you say when you watch any other movies, they're always like that. But this was it was masterful. It was comic come to life for me. Every shot is a
It
panel.
was like a panel.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe before we even get too far into it, I mean, do you guys how did you guys feel about the movie in general?
I loved it. I can see where maybe it could have been shorter,
Yeah.
but I didn't care.
Yeah.
There's a couple parts when he was in the desert fighting those guys. It was a little jarring to see him shooting people.
He did not shy away from killing this Batman.
No, he didn't.
Or not even directly killing, but he didn't care if an action that he caused killed somebody.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't. Unless it was a dream sequence, he didn't outright kill anybody.
Well, he outright killed those guys in that car chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't know if they died.
I mean, they're dead.
They were crushed.
They're dead.
Their
or
vehicle
might
was
as well be
burning
dead.
on its roof.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean those.
Like if you were a
I
pro
wanna see
racer,
bodies.
there would be.
There's no
you
bodies
want to
left.
see bodies?
They burnt.
I mean, there's always a body.
Yes, Cal. I'm just saying
He knows.
that dude killed some guys.
He
Yeah.
probably killed some people.
Yeah, which is I don't know how I feel about it because Batman's code is that he doesn't.
I mean,
This isn't. But to be fair, this is old Batman.
This is old Batman, years after all that shit.
After what I have to assume is either Jason Todd. I don't know if it's Dick Grayson, but
The Robin
Robin was killed by a Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
That could have changed his philosophy a little bit, but we don't know.
It definitely felt when he was down in the basement there, when he was looking at his old suit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you really felt the memory of what that was like and his decision to make the new Batman.
Yeah, well, yeah, it makes when you say that it makes sense because it's like I didn't go far enough then.
Yeah.
Am I not going to go far enough now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the
Yeah.
same comment that you made there reminded me of when he was talking about his dad.
Yeah.
It's like I'm older than my dad ever was now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be my legacy.
Yeah. I get you. Well, that's what Shane felt about. Is there anything else to add? We're kind of going into
Yeah,
it. I just want to give I want to see how do you feel, Calvin?
There was definitely some things that I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
Why they made the decisions that they did, but as far as trying to make a new story and a new outcome rather than just hashing over the same thing over and over and over again, I was satisfied.
I was satisfied with that too.
I was very satisfied. I really enjoyed the movie. There were some things that were revealed in the trailers that I feel shouldn't have been.
Absolutely.
But it didn't spoil the fun.
True.
There was so much enjoyment.
Yeah.
You know the sequence where he's fighting those guys after he gets dropped off at the second level?
Yeah.
I the way it was cut in the movie, I felt like it was a little more enjoyable to watch in the trailer almost sometimes.
I didn't feel that way.
I saw new stuff.
To be fair, it's too hard to. You can't separate yourself from seeing that the first time.
Yeah.
So you don't have the enjoyment of seeing that for the first time. That was a huge problem for me. Is the trailer stuff. Not even Doomsday. Doomsday, that's another thing. But there's a lot of lines and a lot of sequences like the Batman fight that I still enjoyed the Batman fight, even all the extended stuff, and I loved it. It was so visceral, so much power. But I've already seen it. And I don't have, I want to be able to see it for the first time in the theater,
Yeah.
Because we watch trailers and we react to the trailers for you guys.
Well, we try not to do too many. I mean,
we do.
I almost always skip the last trailer that comes out like the week before,
Yeah.
But there's just...
I almost felt like choreography fight-wise, the Man of Steel might have been just as good.
I disagree only for that last part of the Batman fight where it's him versus four goons. And the stuff that they did there, I thought was kind of groundbreaking. And then Batman starts kind of losing. I did not expect that. And I loved it. And I loved how he got out of it.
It
felt
really
real.
felt like one of the Arkham Knight games.
It did kind of do that, yeah.
I think I kind of like the desert fight better.
No, I was impressed with the desert fight only because it was a one-shot.
You see him getting, and you see him getting overwhelmed.
No,
I love that stuff.
No, I liked that too, but it was him fighting with the gun, and it was the one-shot thing.
And the fucking creatures.
Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. I'm not going to say,
fine.
no, your opinion's wrong. I'm just saying, I completely disagree. I think that
fine.
the other one is
The
insanely
damn
better.
creatures in that second dream sequence.
Yeah, I don't know if that were... It's called the Nightfall sequence. I loved it, but I almost feel like you could have cut it. I don't know if you needed it. I understand. I mean,
pacing-wise,
he had, well, not pacing-wise. Like, just story-wise, like, he had already... He says Ben Affleck did awesome in this movie, but he says to Alfred, like, this is why we need to stop him, If there's a 1% chance that he could turn on us, we can't risk that,
Yeah.
That's all the Nightmare sequence was, the Nightfall sequence.
Yeah.
So, even though I loved it, and I think those things might be parademons, I'm not sure, they definitely... I thought... When I first saw them,
They were confusing.
When I first saw them, I thought they were humans inside of, like...
Exoskeleton
bodies.
Yeah.
But then you got really close, and it looked like...
Well, the way the legs were bending,
Yeah.
it couldn't have been a normal human's legs because
Either that or the leg ends where the curves back in.
well, it would have been too short. It would have either
Yeah.
been above the knee or above the ankle.
Yeah.
where it was bending for the,
you're
the
right.
reverse knee.
But
So
I have to assume they're parademons then, which is like a dark side apocalypse thing. Dark side.
Yeah.
Not like the dark side, like the character dark side.
That's the idea.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was. Zack Snyder, I know, is just a big old nerd, so he'd put that kind of stuff in there for no apparent reason. But it was interesting. My feelings about the movie as a whole, I would say it's probably a half hour too long. Just me personally. I think that if you made it tighter, it would have been a little more cohesive. I think that what I'm about to say is both a strength and a weakness. There's no main character.
yes.
So
I really got that feeling.
Yeah. So like sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't really know who my, I can't root for anybody. I'm not on a side because I get what's happening, but it's not like what I feel like Civil War is doing, where people are actually picking sides and stuff like that. This was kind of like this a visual treat, which is good.
Oh yeah.
But there's such a thing as too much. Which I know sounds weird when it comes to treats and me, but I don't do that. Anyway, so I would say, maybe a little too long, maybe a lot of ideas. Each one individually I love, but maybe one too many for a movie.
Such as?
What I have to assume is The Flash.
Yeah.
That sequence, that's kind of a dream sequence, and this guy comes up who's like super armored, and it's white lightning and stuff, and I have to assume that's The Flash.
Yeah.
Like, reaching through the Speed Force back in time.
I don't even know what the
When
hell
he
that
said,
was.
I'm too
I know.
soon.
Huh?
He said, I'm too soon.
He said, I'm too soon. He said, like, you were right about something.
You were right about him.
You were right about him, but is that might be a...
She is the key.
That might be a red herring,
Right.
with a different story, and it's affecting, Batman's decision.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was... I'm confused, because I liked it, but one, I'm too in love with The Flash on TV.
Yeah.
So it was just a kind of... Yeah, it kind of didn't work for me in that way. But, two, like, I don't know if I needed it, Like, it was so much that I was just
definitely felt
It was
like
a sensory overload.
Yeah, it was kind of a sensory overload.
through all of the dream sequences and stuff, the audience, we got the idea that he was having a struggle.
He was being haunted.
Yeah.
You know what? I think this would make a better, 10-episode season on HBO than it would of a movie. I just felt like, as a movie, there was just so much being thrown on the screen that I can't imagine a 9-year-old kid going in and being like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah.
I think it might be a little confusing for some people. But, that's the movie we got, and I'm happy I watched it.
Yeah.
So, getting back into just kind of going through the movie here and talking about stuff we liked, I really loved of course, the opening sequence.
Yeah.
And being able to see, what was I looking at? Yeah, the one title shot that was Mankind, like how many years later, Mankind is introduced to the Superman.
Yeah.
And the white screen, the black letters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got me so pumped. I was like, shit. They were, weren't they? I was so happy.
Yeah.
And then, the ending of Man of Steel. Completely new footage.
Yeah.
New angles. But the sound of the world engines.
Oh gosh.
That thing?
Yeah. Roll.
Holy shit. I don't know. I looked at our count and I'm like... I'm so
When
happy.
that came out, you and I were doing it forever.
Wow. And it's playing Zod's
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's something about it. I wrote down the music because of course it was the music. I wrote down sound
Music's great. Sound
with
was
2
great.
exclamation marks.
One thing about Zack Snyder, because I love Man of Steel, but I thought one of the problems I had was some of the transitions. Like, you'd have the scene, and then when they wanted to show the next scene, you'd have a cut, and then they'd be in the middle of the next scene.
Yeah, sometimes
for instance,
sometimes you can feel you don't know where you are in time. I really felt, especially the shot from, I think it was that older guy in Wayne Tower, right? The guy that prayed before he died.
Yeah.
The shot of that guy looking out the window and seeing all the shit happening. I mean, I feel like this movie was the point of view of the people of Metropolis, and Man of Steel was the point of view of the Man of Steel, of Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't get, it's like when you watch news footage of 9/11, and then you watch, home movie of 9/11,
Yeah.
and how just utterly terrifying it is.
Yeah.
I felt that with this movie.
Yeah, I hear you.
I felt like the terrifying nature of looking out that window and those buildings falling down in a way that I've never gotten from, every Transformers movies that have some kind of piece of metal shit tearing down a building. You know what I'm saying?
I like the Transformers movies.
I don't like those parts.
All right.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. There was something that was captured in this sequence.
And I like just seeing the blur of red go by when her...
Well, of course, yeah.
That's great stuff.
I'm just saying, there was something that was captured in that sequence that I don't feel like any disaster porn movie has ever gotten to me.
Yeah.
Everything else has always been like a spectacle. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
But this felt sad to me. I don't know how'd you guys feel about that?
When that little girl, I thought that little girl was going to die. I was like, oh, shit. Save her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they kill fools in this movie.
Yeah.
Killing all kinds
They're
of
just dead everybody. All over the nation, all over the world.
Straight up.
Dead people.
Yeah.
Like, you think about, like, the old Superman in the 80s, Christopher Reeve. He wouldn't let his people die. He would have saved every one of them, and if he didn't, he would turn back time, and then they'd all be happy,
Yeah.
But that is not this movie anymore, is it?
I was really surprised by the sequence where he's chasing the container.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he had no hesitation killing all those guys.
Yeah.
And it was already being tracked.
Yeah.
So all it was...
I know.
Was just him killing people.
That's another part in the movie where I felt like, this is a cool sequence, but we literally don't need this. He's tracking it.
I think you gotta do both to be safe.
And he took a...
No, I don't...
I wrote it down. He took a horrible risk.
Yeah.
By running his car into the container, inches away from his tracker that he could have torn off, and then started from
he
scratch.
had a good 6 inches, Calvin.
Inches!
You are right. Honestly, if I'm gonna...
And he couldn't have seen it through a building.
No. We gotta be honest with our... At least I'm gonna be honest. There are problems with this movie. I think the Batmobile chase is specifically made to have a Batmobile in there.
Yeah. I think so.
Batmobile had no other purpose in this entire movie other than that chase, and that chase was irrelevant.
I like that chase. But you're right.
I'm not saying... I already said, like, the chase is good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad chase. I'm just saying it doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
And in a 2 hour and 30-minute movie,
Yeah.
don't sell me toys. Let's get the story going.
Yeah, no, I hear you, brother.
The sequence where... And I'm still going back to that first 10 minutes, but even though it's in the trailer, Bruce Wayne running towards the smoke and everybody's running away is this insanely powerful image to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
I mean...
You can see the... they talk about it in psychology and stuff like that, the crowd mentality.
Yes.
Everyone's running this way. I have to run that way to be safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's the guy who's been in... He's seen some shit.
Yeah.
And he's going in there and trying to save people.
Well, crowd mentality. It's like when, people are always like, someone call 911. They say never do that.
Yeah, nobody does.
Call 911 because no one will step up and think about that.
Yeah.
Whereas Batman, Bruce Wayne, he's like, fuck these aliens. They're just running towards his kids.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And he saved 2 people without his bat suit.
He did. Well, I think he was done being Batman at that point.
Yeah.
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 You what?
For some reason, when you said aliens, it made me think of the Kryptonians. Michael Shannon was saying, I didn't even know I was in that damn movie until I saw that trailer.
Yeah, well, I don't... Yeah, it was a prosthetic body.
Yeah, when he's odd. Michael Shannon's the other guy.
They cleverly hit his dick, too.
Yeah.
A bunch.
Did you see that
They
where he was
cleverly
pulling him down into the water?
I was like, where's that dick?
His arm was covered up.
I was like, where's his dick? I should be seeing his dick. This is ridiculous.
Either they were moving the camera perfectly, or they had to do that shot like 100 times to keep...
This is ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you what was also they had real well was Amy Adams, is that her name?
Yep.
Her titties when she's in the bathtub.
Yep.
I literally went like that.
It's like a 3D movie. Really.
Yeah, I know.
Again, through this window. And then to finish out my talking about my favorite sequences at the beginning is the fighting sounds of Zod and Superman in the distance. Me and Calvin, and Shane, we live out in the country, and you can hear a gunshot from 5 miles away, and it's paw, 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 over the hills. And in this thing, you hear
like breaking the sound barrier.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it was so. The atmosphere was just so great. I'm done talking about that sequence. I just thought it was awesome. And then in the Indian Ocean, we find a big chunk of kryptonite.
That was a pretty little scene, wasn't it? I kept thinking I'd like to go there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to fly there, though.
No, I wouldn't want to drink the water either.
No. You think about it. Every time we're at Wayne Manor, fucking, it's doom and gloom.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Sun never shines.
Well, because he doesn't live at Wayne Manor anymore. He lives in that awesome place by the river.
Yeah, but I think you have to drive past it, though.
I don't know.
It's on the same property, isn't it?
I don't know. We don't know that.
Okay, fine.
I think that the Batcave and whatever he was in this time are different things.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't in a cave, he was underwater.
Yeah.
So I think that...
I love how that opens up, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
pretty cool.
I think that
he's got to nail that jump every time.
And I love that training montage.
He does have to do that.
I love a good training montage, Eric.
You've infected my mind because I saw him starting beating tires and shit. I'm like, look, Shane's gonna love this. I'm gonna have to hear about it later. I did.
Yeah. I know it.
But I do
What
wish...
did I say, actually, Matt? Matt, who's off camera?
CrossFit.
Fucking infecting the world.
He's doing CrossFit?
Well, it's a CrossFit thing, but they didn't coin it.
Sure.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah. I feel like the movie could have better communicated where Bruce Wayne was in his life. Because I know that he's like, it's after Batman, but did he stop living in Wayne Manor like when he was 7, or was it after he stopped being Batman? Also, what is Batman's notoriety in this world? Like, does everybody know that there's a Batman in Gotham? They did say the Bat of Gotham and all that stuff, but
Yeah, Clark Kent obviously knows about him.
yeah, but he's also talking as if like this is the first time reporters are talking about him, you know. But hasn't he been doing this for like 20 years?
Well,
Maybe he's taking a little bit of a break.
another thing that confused me is during the sequence with the 2 police officers in the house.
Yeah,
They kept saying it saved us instead of Batman.
Batman. Yeah, like they call it a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I would think by now everyone even remotely near Gotham
Yeah. I mean,
would know.
Well, yeah, but no one knows what he looks like.
my thought is that Batman has been done for like a long time. I think I think when we see Bruce like saving people in Metropolis in the beginning of the movie, I think that's like retirement years. I haven't been Batman for like 8-10 years.
Yeah.
You know? So when he comes back now, maybe it's like an urban legend being brought back. But I just feel like the movie jumped over that. And by the time we get to the end, it's like the greatest gladiator battle. Everybody's going to fucking love it, you know? But everybody's like, well, we know Superman. Who's this asshole with his light?
Right.
You know? I just didn't feel like I got the context of what the world felt about that character.
Well, he might not be as notorious also.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think it's a problem we don't know.
I took it as kind of funny when he turned on the light and it's like 20 years after Batman.
Yeah.
And it's a fat bat.
Yeah.
It's like old and
Well,
retired.
I like the fat bat. It's the Frank
Fat
Miller
bat, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying I hated it. I just thought it was funny.
I'll tell you what, and I love the Arkham games. The scene where he in the Batmobile when you're going to the police station, when he's driving the Batmobile after he jumps into the lake and he's going through there, it reminds me exactly of it. And
Really?
the combat reminded me also of the Arkham games, which we talked about before.
Sure, yeah.
It was good shit.
Yeah. The combat reminds me of Zack Snyder combat. I mean, it's Watchmen to the max, you know?
Yeah.
So, these, the mercenaries that we saw in the desert, they just started killing fools, you know?
Yeah.
Like, execution style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a superhero movie. I mean, that was kind of scary to me.
Yeah.
But Superman coming out of nowhere, does he just follow Lois around? How does he know when she's in trouble?
He's got super hearing.
I know.
He's a creeper.
He
But,
could be a creeper.
I mean, yeah, he's a creeper.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
I think
like-
he knew she was going there.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like, well, there's there, and I can understand that, but later in the movie, Lois gets kidnapped, right?
And she gets pushed off the
And
edge.
she gets kidnapped, and then they have a dialogue for like, I'm assuming there's like a half hour between her getting kidnapped and her getting pushed off the ledge. Superman catches her when she falls off the ledge. But you not know that she was kidnapped? Did he just happen to know she was getting pushed off the ledge at that point?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was that a problem for you?
No.
Well,
I mean, I
mean,
thought about it but I let it pass through, honestly.
Like, it's
You
the
are
same.
so passive.
It's
You
the
do that for
same
everything.
thing. Like,
It
Uh,
annoys me.
it's the same thing. Like when she was trapped under the
The water. I
under
get
the
that.
water.
He heard
It's
that.
like- well, yeah, he heard her thumping,
Yeah.
but he didn't hear her like going into the water and trying to find it, and
Yeah.
then the concrete collapsing on top of her.
Yeah.
It was always after the fact that he was like,
I
"Oh
mean,
my gosh!"
At
almost too late.
that point, I get that because he was distracted until that happened.
Yeah.
But when she was kidnapped,
She was.
he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah,
You know, he was moping around. He's pissed off, and he comes and saves her right before she hits the ground. I just felt like it
That
was
could
like,
have just
well,
been a lucky coincidence.
no. I feel like, well, that's a good movie moment, I guess, but it didn't feel real to me, which was unfortunate because I liked the scene between Lex and Lois.
Oh, I like it was pretty. And I like the scene between Lex and Clark.
Yeah, I
He's
want
showing
to
the pictures. I actually laughed.
Yeah, I know. I want to talk about Lex by himself. I just want to finish out this the part with the mercenaries, and he's holding Lois, and Lois just like, do your thing, and he just Hulk smashes him through like 10
Yeah, I
10
wrote it
walls.
down. Guy through walls.
That was crazy. That was an awesome sequence. I love that.
Oh yeah.
I immediately thought, well, this is Lex Luthor trying to sabotage Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, he did it again. Later.
Yep, twice.
I guess my thing is character motivation for Lex. That bothered me a little bit.
He's insane.
Well, I mean, he obviously inherited his father's empire, and he felt like a very who's the guy? The movie The Social Network.
Yeah, Mark.
I feel like a young kind
Mark
of
Zuckerberg.
entrepreneur, googly type,
Well, that's
hip. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't feel like that. That was exactly what he was.
Yeah.
I heard you giggle when he was standing at the end of the hall when they were bringing out Zod's body.
He's doing this. He's like,
Yeah, he's doing that, and he's got like a transparent suit jacket on.
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But
What
it's
is
him
that?
doing this. I don't know what it reminded me of. It was-
I think he did a good job.
See, I think he did a good job for what he was asked to do, or for what he brought to the table.
Mhm.
But I was a little distracted by it. I gotta say, I feel like if you put an actual Lex Luthor there rather than this new interpretation,
Mhm.
I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. But if you had like a guy like the Lex from from Smallville, the pretty
Michael
on the,
Rosenbaum.
pretty on the nose
The amazing,
Lex Luthor,
the best Lex ever.
like if Cranston played Lex Luthor as Lex Luthor is played in the comics and in the games and other movies, I would have probably enjoyed that a lot more than the slightly distracting nature of what they chose to do with this Lex Luthor.
Yeah. It
Because
felt like
for
Lex
one-
Luthor was too young.
Yeah,
It didn't bother me. I
comparison with
kind of
the
felt
other
like
characters.
he might not have been there yet.
yeah.
In his
I,
journey. You know what I'm saying? I felt like this might have been the beginning.
no,
And now he shaves his head. And
Well,
obviously he's probably going to get out of prison.
he didn't shave it. He
You talking
went to
about-
prison.
X-Men credits or
Yeah.
what?
Fuck. No.
No,
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 Eric was
wait,
talking about during the trailers. It's
Oh.
like, and now he's bald.
he's bald now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why did you put that shot in there?
Oh.
Remember this guy's bald sometimes, and now he's bald.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you for telling us. I could have shown that in the movie, but I
Yeah.
know. Marketing. Just talking about the marketing, like, because we already kind of hit this nail a little bit too much, but I feel like this movie was designed, the marketing of this movie is to get you in the seat, and once you get in the seat, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You're in the seat, you paid the money, get the fuck out of here. You
Yeah.
got some problems, go whine about it on your YouTube channel, fat asshole. You know what I'm saying? I felt that way a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
I can see that.
Star Wars did it so well. You had no idea what was happening, but they were amazing trailers.
Yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's Batman and Superman. Just show a couple fucking shots and I'll jag off later. It's so damn awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they showed too much. Batman saving sex slaves was... I didn't really expect to get that in a movie.
That was a scary scene when he's
Yeah.
on the wall.
That was really
And
dark.
he fucking, he went, across it like the fucking Batmobile. Like, when he was leaving, He
yeah.
was, breaking the concrete and shit. Like, what the hell was he doing? I don't know how he was doing it.
plaster. He was like jamming his hands
Yeah.
into it, and like
Yeah.
it looked like he was windmilling, like
I know.
on the wall and across the ceiling. Like
Yeah.
he was grabbing it, and then he was going over his shoulder.
That cop was just trying to clip him, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
That's Batman! And he knew it was
well,
him
he's
'cause I
still
just saw him.
vigilante.
To be fair, I would have done the same thing because I'm like, there's a fucking monster because that thing was
Right?
you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. I mean, Calvin looked at me a couple times. I'm like, ugh. You
Yeah.
know?
It's like I knew that shot from over the shoulder of the cop when he's going
Yeah.
in with the shotgun, how it's so out of focus, and all you can see is like the side of the cop's face.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that it's a very close and constricted space,
True.
and
Yeah.
it's very close quarters, and it's very uncomfortable for someone with a long gun to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then to be so oblivious to some giant shadow Hulk
Yeah.
in the corner
It was
of the
pretty-
room.
Yeah.
It's so terrifying.
Yeah, I know. He's so fucking big too.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah, he is. I got another thing. The Marvel movies are like funner type movies and more comical. Some people, that's one of the things about them.
Mhm.
And they complain about these movies is they're not. I don't really care about that, but I kind of agree. But one of the only fun moments in this, and I giggle a little bit, was when Batman saved Martha Kent. And they're laying there, and
Yeah,
she
that
was
was
like,
cool.
"I'm a friend of your." He's like, "I'm a friend of your son." She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I figured, the cape."
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of a fun little moment right there.
Yeah. You can't not compare those two. you can't not compare those two types of movies, I guess. But I don't know. I love Zack Snyder's imagery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't absolutely love his storytelling. I think that he just threw too much at the screen. Yeah, maybe some more lightheartedness would have kind of, you would have lost a little brevity. You would have lost a little, not brevity, but a little of the atmosphere, the
seriousness,
the earnesty.
Yeah,
You would have lost a little bit of that if you put too much, like a couple of moments
It
like
was
that.
a very
in.
earnest movie.
Insanely earnest. Like that lady, the African woman, like testifying at the court.
That was sad.
Like that was like I was like what'd she say? She's like, does he answer to God? I was like, shit, I don't know what he does.
Yeah.
Like I like those themes in a movie like this. I feel like they kind of got lost in the mist of fucking doomsday exploding all over the place.
Did you expect when you're in there for the bomb to go off?
Right, like 5 seconds before it did, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, once I saw the water, I was like, yeah.
as
Yeah.
soon
At first when she's making a face, I was like, he filled it up with piss. That's what I legit thought for a second.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, there's something else going on.
Well, he still could have. I don't. He might have filled it with piss. I don't know.
I think it was.
It was like darker colored water. I'm just saying. As soon as I saw that,
If
I'm
piss
like,
went in her mouth, she spit that shit out.
she didn't drink it.
She
She
did.
just turned it.
Yeah.
You know, pay attention.
She got chills.
Everybody.
Oh, okay, shit.
When they were talking about the white
Portuguese or
white Portuguese, and Alfred said, it's like a phantasm. Did you catch that?
No.
When he said that, there's a really famous Batman cartoon movie called
Mask
of the Phantasm. I wonder if there was a little Easter egg nod in there. I really like
Yeah.
that. I love the idea that Batman's brand that he gives only to the worst people is like a death sentence in prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like I think only certain people have earned that, like a sex slave guy, you know?
Yeah.
And then Luthor didn't earn it? Huh.
Or maybe
Maybe
he's changing his ways.
maybe
a
he's
little bit.
changed a little bit
He
for
meant-
Superman.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell during the movie there was a serious struggle between Bruce and the Bat.
Yeah.
You know, he was constantly trying to like, I need more. I need to go further.
Yeah.
And Alfred was like, you did all of these things, and the Bat didn't do anything for 20 years. He hasn't accomplished anything, and you did this
True.
as Bruce.
The thing I love that most illustrates your point is that Alfred's like, Bruce Wayne can break into his house and get the stuff. So, okay. And he does all this elaborate stuff and doesn't work out. And then Batman gets pissed. I'm sorry, Bruce Wayne gets pissed.
Yeah.
And Batman goes.
Yeah.
And you don't even get to see it. You just see the aftermath. Like, he went in there and fucked everybody up. Fucked up those walls. He probably tore some paintings down, broke them and shit. I mean, he tore that place apart and stole that kryptonite.
Yeah.
I loved the imagery of Bruce Wayne and Batman doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah. I really like how arduous almost it was as Bruce Wayne going in.
Yep.
Tedium of socializing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it just happened so quick.
Do I
Bat
own you?
did it.
Are you one of the guys I own?
Yeah. Is that one of the ones I own? What do you guys think of the stained glass and Thomas and Martha Wayne's crypt? The angel
Yeah.
had a blue shirt
Mhm.
and a red cape, like Superman.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
I caught that, but I didn't really.
I didn't know if
Like-
it. I'm sorry, but I didn't know if it was a dream or not because then the blood started to drip.
Yeah.
So it had to have been a dream. So he is putting that image in there, I guess.
Well, that was right before.
Well, maybe the image was there.
The giant bat burst out of the crypt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
he had to have been dreaming. But I thought it was interesting that he had put Superman as the angel in there while he's thinking all these terrible things, you know? But that kind of goes with the Lexus theme of angels being
Yeah.
evil or from the sky.
And also
devils from
somewhat
the sky.
kind of a resentment towards Superman for
Yeah.
for being so perfect and still not
Yeah.
doing the right thing sometimes.
I said earlier that I don't love montages, but another montage to talk about is the Superman Saving the Day montage.
I love that montage.
When he's pulling that ship by that chain through that
Yeah.
ice, and like you can see like the Borealis in the background. And shit.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
you can see all the little
Yeah,
guys on
yeah.
the side of the ship as it's being drugged
Yeah.
along.
I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like that's how good Zack Snyder is as a visual storyteller.
Mhm.
That I literally am like in the theater being like, fuck.
Yeah.
It was so good. Neil deGrasse Tyson made a cameo in this movie.
Yeah.
That was cool.
The guy that demoted Pluto.
Yeah. Now, he's been in the Superman comic before. He, like, actually showed Clark where Krypton used to be. Or showing him light from Krypton, even though Krypton's not there anymore. You can still see its light. He had been in a comic. But him in this movie, he got to live out what I know is, like, one of his biggest dreams is to talk about confirmation of alien life.
Yeah.
Even though he's doing it in a fake movie.
Yeah.
I think it'd be... Like, I don't think those lines were scripted. Like, that's how that fucking guy talks about that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I like that.
What do you think of Jason Momoa?
Awesome.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they're underwater.
Yeah.
I can see Jason Momoa as
he was
as
the way he was
Aquaman.
looking. I thought it was kind of funny.
Well, it's because
And then he just zoom.
Yeah,
You know
that,
what I mean?
that was awesome. I'm disappointed. I disappointed myself because I thought at the end when Lois like fails looking for the thing, you know,
You
for
thought
the
he was
spear,
gonna save her?
I thought we were gonna get fucking Khal Drogo come out of the damn water with a kryptonite spear and save the fucking day, and all the haters will be like, "Fuck everyone that doesn't like Aquaman. He's awesome. Did you see what he did? He came out of the water. You know, crown for the king."
Yeah.
Oh.
I said that after that scene
I know
under
you
my
did.
breath.
I know.
I don't know whether you heard me or
I
not.
did.
I was like,
You said it right into my good ear.
yeah.
But even though that might have been, you know, yet another thing to throw at the wall, what Zack Snyder could have done, it would have been worth it for me.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh,
Yeah.
but it didn't happen. We've seen what promises are worth. Bruce Wayne said that to Alfred.
Yeah.
What was he talking about?
He was talking about Gotham and, you know, how many good people are there left? You know, how many stayed good?
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, Superman's good now.
It sounded like he was talking about something specific. Like, we've seen what promises are worth. Like, the way he inflected it, like, was he talking about Harvey Dent? Or
I mean, maybe.
What about what do you think of Clark Kent coming back? Not Clark. Shit.
Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Costner. Looking
Look
less
a-
like Kevin Costner I've
Look
ever
a
seen.
little
him.
older.
Yeah.
I've never seen Kevin Costner look like that.
Like,
You're
like-
still
like-
watching Waterworld.
Like, not Kevin Costner. Dances with the Wolves. I watch that.
Robin Hood.
I watch that sometimes, though. The Jonathan Kent scene, Shane, to me, that's kind of what you were saying. Like, sometimes I don't know where the hell I'm at. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know why he's here.
Why he's climbing the mountain?
Why is he on a mountain?
yeah.
Like, why does he gotta wear a coat? He's Superman.
Well,
Right.
what's the
That's
point?
the
He's cold.
first thing I thought.
He's
It's
like,
like,
cold.
let's just go
And
up
then
there
it's like-
naked if he wants to.
like,
and
did
he's
he-
fine.
Like, did he bury his... He didn't bury his father on top of a mountain. What was all those damn rocks? What was that stick in those rocks? What the fuck was that scene? I like
Jonathan piled him up.
I like seeing Jonathan Kent, but what the hell was that?
Yeah, good point. You know who the fuck he was at first?
Well, I figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at one point I was like, that's Jonathan Kent. Kevin Costner. He's like, I get it.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't like angry or anything
No,
like
no.
that.
I'm just saying that scene, it was sweet. I liked them talking together, but it's nothing compared to like fucking Smallville when he comes out the end and he's like, gives him the Superman suit. He's like, fucking gonna fly, yeah.
Smallville, Eric and I are humongous fans of Smallville.
Yeah.
All 10 years of it.
Now I like Kevin Costner, but nothing. What's
Yeah.
that guy's name?
John Snyder.
John fucking Dukes of Hazzard Snyder.
God, he is a hell of a man.
Was
I
the
want
be-
that guy to be my dad.
Yeah, yes. I just think that he's been the best Jonathan Kent.
Well, you get to
ever
see a
was,
guy
ever will
develop
be.
over 8 years.
I understand, but Kevin Costner, it still rubs me the wrong way sometimes. He was like,
I liked him in Man of Steel.
well, just that part where he was like, should I let all the people die? And you're like, I don't know. Maybe. Like that part,
yeah.
that kind of got to me. Even though I liked the scene, I didn't understand why we were seeing it, where it was, where he was.
I felt like
What
it could have been done just as effectively through like a memory or a story from his mom.
I almost
Martha.
felt like one.
No, I'm just saying, I feel like it was done effectively another time when he was talking to Martha under the stars. They had already talked about that. Why do we have to see another one? You know? A lot of doubling up on this and a little bit too much ideas in general. I think that's what the only part of this movie that I didn't like was too much, and sometimes of those too many things, they did it twice.
It's like a 4-hour movie turned into a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
While 300 was probably a half-hour
No.
movie turned into an hour-and-a-half movie.
Yeah. This might not make any sense, but I feel like it was 2-hour movies put together, shortened, and then extended. That's how
Yeah.
I feel like it was. Why do they keep? It makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
Why do they keep the Kryptonian ship? Why didn't they move that thing?
I mean, how can you?
What do you mean? How can you? Surely they can, right?
I don't think
They don't have helicarriers.
They don't have the technology to disassemble it.
You don't have to disassemble. Get this piece of alien technology the fuck away from the world's biggest metropolis city.
Well, they probably had military shit all around, and they built that thing over and they're studying it.
Yeah, I know. Well, good that
Yeah,
helped.
it's a tent.
I'm just saying, pick that shit up, move it somewhere else.
It's a heavy fucking ship.
If they can, I would have been like, hey, we need to have all of our resources. I know we just built Metropolis back. We need to get this fucking thing out of here. Because someday it's going to explode, and we're going to all die again. And guess what? Some assholes like you was like, well, it's too heavy. And it happened again.
Speaking of that happened in the middle of a city,
Yeah.
Zack Snyder went out of his way to make sure, like, it's a good thing it's nighttime and no one's there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I was a complaint about Man of
Worst game
Steel.
ever.
There's so much damn criticism about how the death toll in that movie. And it's not like Superman killed these people. He was trying to defend them, and the fight happened in Metropolis.
Yeah, but you have to think, too, like, think about that compared to, like, Sokovia and Avengers 2. Like, if you had 2 shots of Superman saving somebody, people probably wouldn't have done that, but he didn't save anybody, really. You know, he did save everybody,
Yeah.
but he didn't in the course
He
of the
saved
fight.
that guy falling out of the airplane in Smallville.
The meta-human thesis was name-dropped,
Yep.
and we had Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Interesting. When I first saw it, I was like, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, shit, who's that? Fuck! And it left, I was like, damn it!
Yeah.
But then it came back, I'm like, thank God. Oh yeah, that's Cyborg, good.
Yeah.
Because I kind of thought that was all it was going to be. Honestly, I might have been okay if that was all it would have been. Because even though I love seeing all those things, like seeing the picture of Wonder Woman for the first time in the...
Was that Chris Pine?
Yes, Chris Pine. He's going to be a supporting character in that movie.
Okay.
She's getting her own movie.
Okay, I figured.
Yeah, and he's
How hot was she in that movie? Can we talk about that for a second?
We can talk about all we want.
Because I like them thick, juicy. All right, not too thick.
You can't talk about that.
I mean,
Yeah, I feel like we've been talking a lot about wieners and dudes this movie.
that's right. My buddy off screen. God, she was so hot in that movie, man. Her back, her face, damn.
Yeah, I noticed the character a little bit
Her
more than
red.
I noticed. I mean, she was a beautiful woman. I don't know. Honestly, even though I'd recognize her as being like extremely attractive, I didn't think about it. I don't know like you did apparently. That first time we saw her picture, I know that she's like almost immortal or she can live forever or whatever.
Yeah.
But seeing her in that time, like with that suit for the first time, was I thought a pretty cool moment for me at least. I didn't even notice it was Chris Pine the second time I saw the picture.
But right when I saw it, I was like, is that Chris Pine?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing a character in that movie when that comes out. I think
There's a guy on the far end on the right, the little short guy. I recognize him as an actor. I don't know who he was.
Well, there's going to be a movie of Wonder Woman about World War I.
Okay.
So I think all those characters are characters in that movie.
Okay.
It's kind of like the female Captain America a little bit. The Cyborg scene when Cyborg came to life, right?
Yeah.
You know that was the guy that created Skynet, right?
Yeah. I mean, Terminator 2.
That actor?
Yeah.
And he created Cyborg.
Yeah.
Is that... Are they fucking with me, or does that just happen to be a
I
coincidence?
mean, he's also a starring character in a sci-fi show, Eureka.
Okay. I just wonder why they... I mean, I like the actor, but why did they choose that guy to create this killer machine thing? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I just felt like...
He's
don't get me-
typecast.
Yeah, he is, but don't get me wrong, I liked it, but it completely took me out of the movie.
Yeah.
I just wrote Skynet?
Oh,
It
God.
completely took me out of the movie.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did that. How do you guys feel about the big fight? Batman v Superman, man versus God, day versus night.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And I liked how Superman's powers are toned down enough to where they can have this badass fight in an abandoned building, smashing through walls, flying across the damn country into cornfields.
Well,
But I do love that in Man of Steel.
You mean like with the gas and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. My favorite part by far is when he's punching his face.
When he's got him, and
he's punching his face, and Superman's slowly getting his power back, and
he's reacting less and less.
He's going less and less, and then all of a sudden the fist just breaks.
Yeah.
You know, the metal bends in. I was like, oh.
And he was like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was such a great moment. I can't really talk about the fight itself just because it's like when you watch Yoda versus Dooku. and you're like, these moves
In
are cool.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm like, ooh, look at that.
As choreographers, for us, it's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't do that shit.
Well, it's like, well, this. I mean,
it's not even like that. It's just the moves are so powerful
yeah,
that there's no speed.
yeah.
You know, there's no continuation of pacing throughout the fight. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna throw you through this
It's like
wall.
a thing.
Then
Here's
I'm
a
gonna
thing,
walk
here's a
over.
thing. Yeah.
You're gonna
Well,
pick
I
me up
wonder
and
how
throw me
much
through
of
that
it
wall.
was wires. Like, because Man of Steel, when I watched behind the scenes, I was shocked how much that was real. And I'm wondering
I
about
don't
this
know.
one.
I doubt there is a shot that doesn't have CG enhancement, but
yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of it that UB's. I mean, I don't know.
Probably, I felt like quite a bit of it was CG.
Yeah, especially with the
from the lighting
with
and
that
everything.
Batman suit.
Yeah. That would be really difficult to do practically.
Especially
And
capes.
Yeah.
Capes as well.
Well, the cape might have been CG.
Do
Because it was a Man of Steel.
you guys feel like Batman kind of he didn't let himself be used, but how do you feel about him being used as this piece of Luthor's plan? I felt like his anger and his aggression towards Superman was like where it should have been like 10, it was at 12.
Yeah.
And I felt like his complete 180 turnaround came really easy just because he heard his mom's name.
Yeah.
Like him being like, well, we're friends now. I'm going to go save your mom. Yeah, buddies, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Hasn't he been spending like this whole movie being like, I don't know
Past
about
3
this
years,
stuff.
or 2 years, or 18 months.
Yeah, or whatever it is. I don't know. I felt like the turnaround was a little bit much. But before we move on, Henry Cavill's acting of the pain of kryptonite.
Yeah.
I feel like few actors can do it as well as he did. You know, Tom Welling had 10 years to perfect it.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
a ripped in his chest.
Yeah, but I think like at the end of 10 years, you kind of was phoning in a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, it hurts, fuck, you know. But Henry Cavill, his pain on the ground breathing, like I really thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I thought that was wonderful. I had to write it down.
Yeah, breathe it in. That's fear.
Oh, that was cool. I
Yeah.
did like that.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
Batman.
I kept thinking, if I was fucking him, as soon as I breathed it in once, I'd just start running. Get the fuck out of there! But he
Yeah.
stayed there. I mean, obviously, it immobilized him. It must
Yeah.
have been obvious, you know, but I felt like it wouldn't immobilize me.
I mean, to be fair, it absolutely would have. It's poison.
I'd get the fuck out of there, man. What do people
You
do when
breathed in poison already.
when they breathe in shit anywhere? So that shit's poisonous. You just breathe it in. They start running.
Okay,
If I
but
told you that, when you walk in the bathroom, it smells like shit.
Yeah.
You run out.
you know who you're not? You're not Superman. A man that's never felt pain, cold, heat, fear. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's move on, because we're going a little long here. Let's move on to the final real fight of the movie, Doomsday. How'd you guys feel about Doomsday?
it felt like the military were just a mechanism to tell the audience what was going on.
I felt that way too.
Yeah.
I also felt like they're like, let's nuke this motherfucker
Right.
now. Like,
Yeah.
Just right now? I mean, they didn't even know that he's like, they didn't even know who this guy is. They're just like, we're nuking this guy.
Yeah.
Remember he fucking falling over Metropolis?
Huh?
I mean, it's far enough out.
Not in, when it detonates in space. You know, it does.
I thought they were just
If
in the
it's-
atmosphere.
I mean,
No, they
the
were
ionosphere
pretty-
blocks
Yeah.
like 98% of the sun's
Yeah,
radiation.
the sun's radiation is far stronger than
Yeah.
the nuclear radiation of blast that size.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
What-
Nuclear?
What'd he say?
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Yes.
Nuclear.
Okay.
What'd he say?
He said nuclear.
He
Says it like
yeah.
he says it like Homer Simpson. Sorry.
How everybody does that. But you know, a lot of the, you know, when a blast like that happens, you know, most of the energy is going into the ground, you know, and whenever you're out in space, the energy is just dispersing a lot quicker. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
It's like when you throw a stick of dynamite in a small room. The compressive force it's exponential
Mhm.
because it's restricted.
yeah,
If you just throw one out in the air,
like a field or something.
yeah, it's not gonna do anything.
The way Doomsday came about, I kind of thought, like, well, they need to have this badass guy they fight. But I thought he looked cool. I thought he
Yeah.
looked like fucking, they used the Unreal Engine. He reminded me of Gears of War.
I thought he looked cool. I'll say this before I actually say what I don't like, but his speed was awesome. Like, not only his strength, but when he came out and started fighting, it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great. Because he's a Kryptonian. He needs to be that fast.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what they did with Zod last time.
Yeah.
Because the Batman fight and Superman fight, that was like a wrestling match of, you know? But this was like visceral, super powerful, super fast, and I love that.
Yeah.
Now, Go ahead.
That one scene where Grodd is first.
Grodd? Grodd's a giant ape.
I know. Zod.
Grodd.
Yes.
Zod.
Zod.
Good.
Fuck's sake.
I know. Go ahead.
when Zod first gets out of the cocoon
Yes.
and Superman punches him, I was like, oh, maybe this guy can, maybe he's fairly easily beatable. And then Superman flies at him and he catches him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that fast.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
I love the speed. That was really
I like
cool.
how he's gonna punch Lex too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was going to, and Superman saved him.
Yeah.
I didn't understand his energy thing. The thing about Doomsday is that every time Doomsday is killed, he's reborn and invulnerable.
He's a Super Saiyan.
No. Every time he's killed, he's reborn and he's invulnerable to the thing that killed him. That's like his main thing.
Yeah, he's
Right?
Kryptonian-
From
he's
the comics,
Kryptonian blood too, right?
But in this, it was like every time you
hit him hard.
hit him with energy.
he had a lethal, like something
he had more
potentially
energy.
lethal.
Huh?
And every time you did something that was lethal to him.
Well,
Because he cut off his hand,
anytime
and the
he
hand
did,
came off, the hand came back strong. Like,
well, yeah, I'm saying anytime he did anything to him, he got stronger. Like
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's hitting him with her sword, and his skin starts glowing.
Yeah.
And he's building more fucking rocks and shit. You know?
Rocks and shit.
Yeah. He looked exactly like the cave troll from.
I didn't write that
Fellowship.
down,
Yeah.
but I was gonna say it.
Even though
It's
I
like
liked his
the eyes
yeah.
and the mouth and everything.
I liked his movement, and when we first see him, he doesn't have any of his spikes. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
He does not look good. And then he got the spikes, and I'm like, well, this looks like something that sucks with spikes on it, so it's a little bit better.
Sucks.
But it
with
didn't look like
spikes on it.
Doomsday to me, really.
No.
And Matt probably get upset by this, but he's naked, right? I kept trying to see his Doomsday dick. I didn't see anything. It just happened to be in shadow, but it distracted me. Like, put that thing, give him a loincloth or something.
Make that thing swinging,
He
knocking
didn't have any.
shit over.
He's like horns, like covering it.
I thought the fight was visually delightful. Sometimes it was like, obviously, so much shit was going on.
Overpowering,
The camera
overwhelming.
was everywhere,
Yeah.
and it was nighttime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you can't have it in the daytime because there'd be people there.
The imagery was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
And also CG doesn't look as good.
Well, in the daytime.
Yeah.
I feel like this might be controversial, but I feel like including Doomsday was the wrong decision. I feel like it's like comic book people are generally considered to be like nerds and stuff like that. I feel like some guy that was a jock in high school and his daddy got him a job at a movie studio was like, I don't know, they gotta punch something big at the end, right? Give me the characters. Who's this fucking guy? He looks like he could big some shit up. Put him in the movie. And Zack Snyder's like, well, I don't think that. Put him in the movie! Nerd! I kind of felt that way. So, I don't know. That part I didn't absolutely love, but I did love the fight. I love the imagery. I'm pretty easy to please, I think.
Yeah. Like 45 minutes in, when we didn't see any fucking fighting, really.
Yeah.
I was looking at Matt, and I was like, they need to pick this shit up.
Yeah.
Because it was going
I think our biggest criticism is that this movie is at least a half hour too long. Daredevil was the perfect length of a movie.
Deadpool.
Yes, I'm sorry. Deadpool.
Dirty dog.
Don't. don't.
Superman dying at the end.
Okay, yeah. Superman, I knew he wasn't going to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
that
I
was-
did too, but
They
I
were
kept
playing
thinking
it
when
up
they're
so
gonna-
much.
I kept
Like
wondering
the
when
ring and everything.
Yeah.
I kept wondering when they're gonna fucking bring him back. I kept thinking, well, shit, they're gonna do it now.
Well, I didn't think they were going to bring him back in the movie.
No.
I mean, that's the thing about Doomsday. Doomsday is the guy that killed Superman.
Yeah.
It's no secret. I honestly didn't think they were going to do it, but as soon as he got stabbed with Doomsday's, fisting, he got fisted by Doomsday.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, I'm like, okay, Death of Superman, that's what we're going to do. And Batman's like, well, we got to assemble a team of people we never met. Like, well, why? Because
I feel something coming.
what's coming?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Lex in prison, I don't know, some shit's going to happen, I got to turn things around.
Right? All of a sudden, Superman's
Yeah.
gone, what he wanted,
Yes.
and now he's all afraid. Like,
Yeah.
crap, we need some protection.
Yep. Now,
Yeah.
I even though one of my main criticisms of Superman as a character is that he is completely indestructible and cannot be killed, and if he is, he just goes into Kryptonian hibernation and comes back, and he has the infinite power. Infinite power is the stupidest thing in the world, I think, for a character. Like Goku, who is an insanely powerful character, has limits. Because he's not infinitely powerful.
Yeah.
I don't understand how a character that absorbs sunlight could have infinite power. There's only so much sunlight in the universe.
Yeah.
that
Well,
definitely,
when he was sitting there fucking dead, he was an ugly motherfucker.
yeah,
right?
he was dead and then he absorbed the power. I actually kind of liked that. I didn't really like that happened and then he died again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kidding. How long is this motherfucker gonna die?
I did like the imagery at the very end though, with just the smallest little bit of
You know what it
dirt
felt like to
on
me?
Inception.
Yeah, like the top spinning.
No.
I thought of
That's
that.
exactly what I
It-
thought.
Think of.
It felt like Magneto trying to move the chess piece at the very end of the
Oh,
movie. And
yeah.
it wiggled and then it cut.
Yeah, you're right. At the end of
X3.
3. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was that too. I immediately thought of
Actually, yeah, shit.
Inception, because Inception is the thing spinning and you're like, wait, I think it's falling. Fuck, you know.
Yeah.
But with this, I was like, we started zooming on the dirt. I'm like, that dirt started rising, and the
Yeah.
dirt started rising. They cut. And I'm like, all right, good.
Yeah.
Good. He's not dead. In closing, what do you guys feel about this movie?
In closing, I love the movie. I understand. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a little long. I had some of the problems you had. I had too.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me as much. I can't wait to see the universe open up more.
Sure.
Can't wait to see my boy Superman come back.
Yep.
Your boy
Hey.
Superman.
My boy Superman.
I'm going Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
One thing to remember when it comes to Aquaman is that his trident can pierce the skin of Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the few
Mhm.
other things other than kryptonite.
That's not kryptonite based. Yep. So favorite part of the movie, maybe Aquaman, you think?
Probably not favorite part.
Yeah.
I have like 3 favorite parts.
Go for him, real quick. Rapid
All right.
fire.
Superman walking through the Capitol building.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
It was
was.
very big
was
and
cool.
powerful
Yeah.
and solemn.
Yep.
Batman saying, "You can't be brave. Only men can be brave."
Oh, that
like
shit.
completely just cutting his balls off
Yeah.
by calling him not human and not a man, so he can't be brave.
Yep.
When Superman was on the helipad with
Lex.
Lex,
Mhm.
and he threw all the pictures at him and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?"
Those pictures were terrifying.
And then he gets
Yeah.
angry and his eyes glow red,
Yeah.
and he screams, "Where is she?"
Yeah.
It felt like Batman.
It kind of did. a little.
Yeah. I mean, it was the exact same inflection.
Where were the other drugs going?
Yeah.
I felt Anakin a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the eyes.
The
That was
eyes,
another-
yeah.
Every time he got red eyes, I got harder. I love when he gets his red eyes.
The second to last cartridge, kryptonite cartridge that Batman fired at Superman.
Yeah.
Superman would have killed Batman if he had not timed it perfectly. Like, he weakened him just enough to where he didn't punch through his helmet.
Yeah.
It
True.
was that close.
Yeah, you're right.
He would have died.
His mom's being threatened.
Yeah.
And Batman wouldn't listen.
No.
Yeah.
He was like,
Sure.
yeah.
Yep.
So good.
Okay.
When he's walking through the Capitol building was a pretty big one for me. And also I just surprised how much I enjoyed Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I mean, her going toe-to-toe with Doomsday, I kind of didn't expect
And
that.
you know, and they didn't give. She was in the movie just enough, I think,
Yeah.
for her not to have a starring role. But it was a good way to include her.
Yep.
Without her being overbearing.
Mhm.
She was a good fighter. She was brave. She was sexy. I mean, she was good.
I really enjoyed that feeling of, you know, she's done this before and she's trying to stay away from humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
she's doing her thing, she's living her life, but she doesn't want to do the hero thing.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like Jessica Jones a little bit.
Yep.
Where she's done the hero thing and then
Yeah,
not
definitely.
anymore.
Yeah, you can see like she's watching the fucking TV and she.
And then
shit,
she's
shit,
like,
I better go.
Yeah, she has to go.
For me, favorite parts of the movie, absolutely the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was amazing to me. The metahuman thesis and seeing the metahumans, the files for the first time.
Yeah.
And watching those little sequences.
Yeah.
Even though I felt like they didn't need to be there, was probably my favorite part of one of the favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah.
The Flash appearing to Bruce was not my favorite part of the movie, but it stands out among almost all the other movies.
What appears
me.
to be Flash.
What
Yeah.
appears to be Flash. It's Flash.
Yeah, it's Flash.
It's most intriguing to me because it's obviously setting something up.
Yeah.
Possibly Crisis on Infinite Earths or something. I'm not really sure. But I find that interesting. Ben Affleck in general was amazing. I didn't have any problem with him at all.
Oh no, he was
No,
great.
I loved it.
He was great. I should talk about that actually.
Now,
He's
yeah,
he's a good Batman.
Yeah, he was a great Batman. Lex Luthor, I like they got bald at the end. I did like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like
Yeah.
setting something up for the
Yeah.
next story.
Yeah,
It's not the way that I would have casted or had the character go, but with the way with that choice out of the way, it was done perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, I like Jesse Eisenberg in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when he shaved his head at the end,
Mhm.
we might get to see the more traditional Lex that we're used to seeing.
Okay,
Jump.
guys. Obviously, that was a very long conversation about Batman
Longer
v
than I thought it was
Superman.
gonna be.
A little bit, but just like the movie.
Yeah.
But the conversation is in here. What we're going to do, we're going to do a Q&A show all about BVS because we want to hear about what you guys think of the movie, what you thought about some of our observations, and we'll be able to hear what Aaron thought of the movie.
Yeah. He didn't get a chance to watch it tonight.
Nope.
He was with family, so...
Yep, he's doing his Easter tonight, so there's all that. All right, so that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review. Make sure you're, once again, putting your Q&A questions down there. You can go there, blindwave.net, for all the information about Blindwave. You can go down in the description to find the links to our social media, and you can come back next video. I'm Eric.
I'm Shane.
I'm Calvin.
Nope. Calvin. Ha! Missed!